So are you thinking we should like do a couple of different recordings of the intro? What do you mean?
Different ways of saying it?
No, I'm like do it a couple of times.
I practice real hard. Hello, hi, and welcome, peoples, persons, and background characters to Spinning Tales, a podcast. Maybe. A place where we acknowledge that we are all an amalgamation of stories still being told, and do our very best to draw out the storyteller in each of us. I'm Jess, and I am joined by my friend, Bandit.
Hi.
This is a podcast that me and Bandit thought of.
This here is a podcast.
Maybe.
That Jessica thought of and coerced me into.
That's fair.
What happened. Do we want to tell them the story of how this came to be?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
You get nothing.
Nothing.
No backstory. This is what it is.
This is what it is. If you wanted a backstory, you should have been Jane, because she saw the episodes that you'll never see.
Yeah. And Eileen. Don't forget Eileen.
I won't forget Eileen.
Yeah. Okay. No backstory. We're dropped in the story.
Dropped into
Go.
it. So the reason we're doing... As a quick recap, the reason we're doing this is because I am a writer.
Maybe. Definitely.
Well, wow.
Definitely.
I am a writer. You've probably never read anything I've written, because the one novel that I self-published, I pulled after like 3 months. And if you followed my other YouTube, you can see what my writing looks like in small blurbs and snapshots of moments in imaginary people's lives. But I love the art of storytelling in any...
way, shape, or form.
Any vehicle that is possible. And I have a lot of creative friends that not all are writers, most are not writers, but they are creative in a lot of different ways and love storytelling in a lot of different ways and love being told stories. And I was having a conversation with my friend Bandit here about one of the episodes on my other channel.
Having a conversation... That's her perspective on it. I was trying not to cuss her out. That's my perspective.
She was yelling at me through text.
I was very upset because it was a very good story. And I was like, oh my God, I need more of this. And it's like, I could see the time getting lower. And I was like, I hope there's another thing. I hope I get more. And as I'm thinking that, in the video, she says, I'm never going to finish this.
I'm never going to finish it.
And I was furious. She did it to me again. Again, she did this. She does this all the time in these freaking videos.
Yeah.
And so I texted her and I was like, you need to finish it.
Her exact words, with no preamblers, I hate you. I was like, oh, she must have watched the video. But that whole conversation kind of sparked this idea, an idea that had been kind of forming for a bunch of other reasons for me. That it would be a lot of fun to just like meet up with people who are just like obsessed with stories in the same way that I am, or even in different ways that I am, and learn how to like tell stories together. I really love collaborative storytelling. We both play D&D. She's a DM as well, and she like is able to like pull together stories very, very well. Even though she doesn't think of herself as a writer, she is very much a storyteller. So I wanted to like create a space where we could learn how each other tell stories and share that with anyone who's willing to listen and anyone who's willing to like figure out how they tell their own stories as well.
Yeah. I think that was a good, concise story.
Cool.
It left out all the rude bits.
It did leave out some of the rude bits. So I guess we can kind of like hop in. So the first thing I do want to do, just because we've been saying it a little bit, is talk about the stories that we have been intaking in the last couple of weeks since we've met.
Okay.
What kind of stories have you been enjoying? Have been feeding your artistic soul?
This is a sad day for me.
Oh, no.
Because on all of the other things when we were doing the episode zeros, I had great stories to share. In the last 2 weeks, I have just been in a fiction drought. I have done a lot of study for like the work that I do. And so like when you sent me that Marco Polo of the story ideas or whatever, I was like, I was thirsty for it. I was like, yes, give me fantasy. I started a book called The Blonde Dies First.
Okay.
Because I am in a book club and there's a deadline.
Sometimes deadlines are the only way to get it done.
Right. And I like this. I like the start of this because it is about a Black girl. And I feel like in a lot of stories, we don't get like Black girl POV. Right. And a lot of like fantasy and different things like this. This is like a horror type, but like parody, I don't know how to describe it, right? But she's like describing the way she's getting her hair done and like all that stuff. And I'm like, this is real. So I enjoy seeing my experience on the page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm not that far into it. So I can't say if like the whole book is good or not.
But the hair stuff, accurate.
Yeah. You know when you like first get your hair braided and you're like, oh, this tension, it's a lot. I'm like, oh, she this writer has experienced that. That's good.
You're like, oh yes, I feel every molecule in my head. Yes, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
And you know, I like hearing you say that. I do want to say that like I think that stories don't have to be only fiction, right? There's a lot of nonfiction stories out there that are like, we are a bunch of nonfiction stories. There's a lot of like vulnerability that goes with nonfiction, which is why I will never write nonfiction. That is like
Let me into your life, Jessica.
Oh gosh, it's so amazing and empowering and such a strong thing for someone to do. I literally never kept a diary because I thought it was stupid that somebody could find my innermost thoughts that were written down in a book. Because that's who I am, a coward.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. People do find diaries and then they do get published and then someone else is making money off of the diary that you wrote. Right?
That's dumb. No, thank you.
I mean, and it's cool to see like a snapshot into someone's life, but it's like
that was private.
But like if they didn't intend for it to be read, I feel kind of guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to know more about this person. They didn't want you to know more about them.
They didn't want you to know.
They published the stuff they wanted you to know about them.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I like reading those things. Yeah. Especially like the historical ones or whatever. But also, I feel like I'm
a voyeur.
Like yeah. It feels a little voyeuristic.
Yeah. That's the reason I personally don't read a lot of nonfiction. Even though you've given me permission, I feel weird about it. I don't like knowing things about people who know nothing about me.
It creates that parasocial relationship a little bit.
Stories that I've been intaking. I've been doing a lot of podcasts lately. I've caught up on Midnight Burger, a podcast that we should all be taking part in.
Watch Midnight Burger.
Oh, watch it with your mind palace. You can't watch it, but we all consider it watching because it's so good. It's so good. Audio drama is what it is. It's so good. Anyway, I finished up with that, but I'm listening to Shift Notes where they go in and they talk, the creator, Joe, talks through like why he made certain choices and answers questions from fans and stuff. And it's called The Hiatus, but they do so much work during the hiatus before season 5 starts. If you have not given it a listen, it is on every podcast place of your choice. Listen to it. It does not get enough love. End statement to that.
No, all facts.
All facts. But other than that, I have been reading a webtoon called Elliseed.
Elliseed?
Yes. Oh. If that's not how it's pronounced, that's how my dyslexic brain pronounces it. And I'd show you, but we're currently using my phone to record. So I really, really enjoy webtoons. They are like very digestible and fun. The art is really, really good. I will never be an artist, so it's really nice to see different kind of art styles. And the ones that I gravitate to are either isekai, because I just love it. I think your husband said to me, like, it feels like it's a lazy way of writing. And I said, you're a lazy man. Because that's how you get back at people.
That is the way that you speak to my husband. He probably enjoyed that.
And also, like, fighty ones. I know that's not what it's called, but it's just kind of like, oh, we're just fighting people. There are
things that I will read in webtoons that I won't read in like book form.
Yes, 100%. Right? I wouldn't. Absolutely. Oh, I also read my first Stephen King novel.
No way.
Yeah.
Which one?
Billy Summers.
How was it?
It was fine. I would give it a 3 because I didn't DNF it. I think I personally just don't like his writing style.
I feel like a lot of the like classics get overhyped because they're classics.
No, this was written 2 years ago.
Oh, never mind. Or I shouldn't say class. Maybe it's like classic, the classic authors.
Can you be classic if you're not?
I feel maybe I'm not using the right word because classic is like old.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like his books do feel old to me.
Yeah.
Because they've been hyped up for so long.
Yeah, I think that like I never read him because I'm not a horror fan, and horror is really hard for me. Because I get scared very, very easy.
I also haven't really read him. I've read little bits of it, and I like the voices.
Yeah,
I feel I don't know. It's not my thing, right? But when I was in the first grade, I saw the movie It.
Yeah,
it ruined me. Why would I want to watch this? The man responsible for that.
That's fair.
I was little. I should not have watched that movie.
That's very true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I finished it, I read it, and I like finished it when I was on my trip, and I was like, I have problems with this. I think there were some interesting bits, but we can talk about that off camera if you care.
Yeah. I care, we'll talk later.
Yeah. It was like, but we at this point are probably at 25 minutes.
I'm not anxious about the time.
Okay, for sure. I have to edit it.
I know. I just want you to know that I don't share your pain.
I don't care. That's true. Nothing has to make sense. So, for this podcast, maybe, we have a lot of different kind of ways to like engage or spark stories that we've talked about, like ways that are my go-tos for how we like tell story, how I tell stories, ways that your mind starts churning for stories, and we're going to like visit a lot of different methods. We may come back to some. We may do stuff to perfect. That's a weird.
Yeah. But we'll probably be just as rude in this podcast as Jessica is in her
absolutely
other YouTube channel.
I plan on finishing nothing. Never.
It's called commitment issues, kids.
Hey, my ring's not here, but I'm married. But yeah, so I think that
we're bad wives.
I know. I looked at your fingers like neither of us are married today. Apparently, mine's in the other room.
Mine is at my house
in another room.
You know, that's fine.
Okay, so I think that for today, I want to go with the classic kind of question that we had talked about when we started. Like having thoughts about this as a podcast, which was, what kind of stories do you feel that you need to hear right now? I know I cut some of the stuff out that we just were talking about for a little bit, but the world has been rough for a number of reasons, for a number of increments of time, and
whenever this comes out, for that long.
Yeah. And you know, I was thinking about it yesterday, about what kind of story like my spirit is kind of calling out for right now, like what I need to be told to kind of comfort me during this time. And I think for a number of reasons, due to like work stuff, family stuff, world stuff, I just feel really trapped. And I feel like very confined in my life and in just my space, right? And like I kind of need stories of freedom right now.
I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. Stories of freedom. I want to ask more questions, right? The brain is already turning. How do you define freedom?
Yeah. How do you define freedom? Is it a feeling? I think for me, when I was thinking through it, right, I'm a more negative person. In general, I tend to like be a pessimist and a realist, more pessimistic than realistic.
I was gonna say, because those aren't the same thing.
I can be both.
You can switch back and forth.
I can.
Yeah. From one pessimist to another, you're a pessimist.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
When I was thinking about it, I was thinking more like feeling trapped, right? So my definition of freedom is very contingent on what it feels like to me to be unfree. Hi, I'm a writer.
Oh, my brain is starting to churn, right? I do think that it's a valid statement, right? Like freedom for me in any moment will depend on the circumstances that are making me feel not free, right? To the average person in America who's like working the 9 to 5 and like coming home and all those things, they might feel trapped by the responsibilities that they have. And like financial freedom would be really liberating for them.
Yeah.
For a person in prison, right? Freedom would be able to go and choose a 9 to 5 and have the trappings of the day-to-day and the responsibilities, being able to choose to have those responsibilities, right? So I do think it's situation dependent what freedom is. I kind of want to jump into story, right? Like I want to make notes on like, because like here's the thing, I don't write stories, right?
I think you do, but okay.
I feel like my job is to help people explore their own personal stories. So like I immediately go into questions, right?
Yeah.
So what is keeping you trapped right now?
Oh, for the internet?
For the internet. Well, as we just talked about, you not wanting to be vulnerable and have your inner life displayed in front of people. Put it on display.
Hello.
Why do you feel trapped right? Because that will lead us to how can you feel more free?
Yeah.
Or what story you want to.
Yeah. I work a 40-hour job, like many people do. And that is a blessing and a curse because you need to work a job. Did you see the price of eggs? Did you see the price of coffee? Like, you need money to live and survive, but sometimes the way we make money is not the way that, like, fulfills us, you know? And I think that currently in the job that I'm working, I am very happy about having the job. It is very different from what my creative soul would prefer.
Right.
But it's a job that I'm very capable of doing and I'm able to do, but it pulls a lot more out of me than gives to me, right?
Yeah.
And so even though it's only 40 hours a week, it's most of your life. That means like my mornings and my evening, like my mornings I'm preparing for work and my evenings I'm recovering from it. So I don't have time to write. I don't have time to engage in stories that I would like to do. I don't have time to be the creative in ways that I want to. Like if I am able to do that, if you're able to see anything up on my YouTube, if you're able to see anything on my blog, and you notice that there are like large swaths of time where I just don't post anything, it's because
you're busy.
It's because I'm busy and I'm drained out. And then if you notice, oh, she's really posting stuff, I'm drowning. Like to be able to do my job in a way that is good and doesn't get me fired for like doing a lackluster job. And then to also create stuff, I'm not sleeping. Like I'm probably not, or I am sleeping, but I'm like foregoing eating well because like it's going to take time away from stuff. There are sometimes I'm in here like editing things and my husband's like, you have to walk out of here, you know, like, but it's the only time I have, right? So it's either I feel trapped in not engaging in stuff that like taps into what makes me intrinsically me, or I'm trapped by just doing my best to put even a little bit of what is important to me into the world. Yeah. Right? And then like not having enough energy to run, not having enough energy to not physically run. I don't exercise, as you can see. And so I think that like for me, right, like what's making me feel trapped is my responsibilities versus my wants.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm hearing...
Oh, okay.
What I'm hearing is that while you appreciate the job that you have and the finances that it gives because it allows you to live and eat, right? The pressure, the responsibilities, the time commitments are draining on your soul and do not allow for the things that feed back into you.
Correct.
Okay.
What does freedom mean to you? Divert. Deflect.
It's a very interesting question. Before I answer it, I would like to, I want to ask you, because this isn't your therapy session.
No.
Right?
That's illegal.
It is.
Ethically.
It's unethical. I would like to ask you, how do you portray that in a story? Because what story, what part of the story do you want to be in? Do you want to be in the part where you were like at the breaking point ready to escape? Or do you want to be at the part, because that's cathartic, right? Being able to like express or hear that like someone else is at that point. Or do you want to be at the point where it's afterwards and it's like, oh, I do feel free and this is what it feels like. Where do you want to go?
So, hi, I'm a negative person. And I'll be honest, right? I was like, okay, I never know until I put pen to paper or beautiful nails to keyboard.
They are really pretty. Like, you guys need to get like a close up. Show each of the camera so you can get like a good shot. Like, her nail person does such a good job.
So good.
She didn't message me back on Instagram, but I'm not mad. It's fine. People
you gotta
are
message
busy.
her again.
People are busy.
She is, but you gotta message her back again.
Yeah. Okay. We were talking about serious stuff. You type.
So it might be different, but like, because where I am in is currently trying to figure out an escape plan, probably will be the worst portion of being trapped in seeking freedom. And at this moment, I'm not sure if it will end in a cathartic release or a smack.
Build the frustration.
Build the frustration, because like, realistically, I feel like we are all clamoring to like be in a different place, a place that we feel is better than where we're at.
Yeah.
And we don't always make it.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I think that feeds into the kind of stories that I need to hear right now. But I almost want to push you to do the positive thing.
Oh, no.
I can't make you do anything. We know who's in charge in this relationship. I have jeans on, but she wears the pants.
Yeah.
But I almost want to push you to do the positive thing, because I want you to start changing the way that your brain works.
This isn't a therapy session.
Right? It's not. I'm not giving you therapy. I'm just saying what I would hope for you, right? It like having like, especially when you're not naturally a positive person, this isn't toxic positivity. Like, you just have to pretend everything is okay. But like, the exercise of looking at the good things is difficult.
Yeah.
The exercise of hoping for more is difficult. The world beats us down on purpose.
Yeah.
Because it makes us more compliant. You go to work and you feel hopeless, right? But dreaming of better things is a muscle that you can work out. And I would want you to do that. Mentally. But some of the stories that I feel like I need to hear is people choosing happiness in their lives. I feel like there's times where there's things that we cannot change, right? Or things that we have to wait for change in, right? And that doesn't mean that you have to be miserable the entire time throughout. The hard parts are still there, but I want to see people choosing to love and like choosing to have moments where they feel elation. Even if we know next week is going to be a terrible week, right? Like if it's Thursday and I know come Monday, it's going to be awful again. I'm going to choose to enjoy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? Or if it's, you only have one day, I'm going to choose to sit in this moment and revel in the peace and the love that I have in my personal relationships before I go back and engage the mess, right? Because how do I continue to engage the mess if I haven't re-energized myself, right? And I don't know how to write that story, but I would love to read that story. So if those are two broad topics, because again, not a writer. If those are too big for our first episode, absolutely. Yeah.
No, let's do it. I believe in us.
No.
I believe in us.
Let's do something.
No, I want to do this. No, we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that
Okay.
I don't think it's too big. I think it is big, but I don't think that's any smaller than the other things that we had tackled.
I guess. I don't know. I feel nervous.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Drink more tea.
I mean, you said it was too clinky.
It is too clinky, but we eventually have to get like our computers out, and we're gonna cut all that anyway.
Oh, that's true. Okay, when we go to get the computers,
finish the tea.
I'm gonna finish my tea.
All right, so let's grab our computers and figure out how we're actually going to do this.
Okay.
We'll be back. We're all set up, and we've had tea. And I don't mean the cheese-may kind. So how we're going to run this is going to be new to everyone involved, even Jane and Eileen. Hello again. Because we're going to stop and we're going to talk through our processes a little bit. So starting off, just to like lay out, I'm going to be writing about a person who is trapped trying to get to freedom. So that is my mission statement. That's not what it is, but that is my prompt, my self-imposed prompt. How would you condense yours into a sentence?
I want to write about a person or persons searching for joy in the midst of hardship.
That sounds good.
We'll see if the story that I write meets that by the end of it.
So I think what I want to do is give us 3 minutes to kind of like because I have the added bonus, I guess, of having thought about this some last night because I brought this to us, right? And so I've kind of been like ruminating on what I want to like go, whereas this is coming out of right field for you, you know? So
left field? Right field?
I don't know.
Does it matter? Baseball? I don't know sports, but dang, that's cool.
But yeah, so like maybe you need like 3 minutes to kind of figure out like where you want to go. I know for me, I think where I'm at is what I'm reaching for is to describe the feeling I'm feeling in a way that is like removed from probably overly dramatic, right? Like I feel very dramatically about things. And I'm like, I want to get that point across. You know, like the intensity of that feeling, which is why I'm starting off in like a trapped place. So that's the angle that I'm shooting for. Yeah. So I think there will be like less character and more just like vibe.
Okay. Okay. Do I have to explain where I'm coming from now?
You don't have to if you don't have one. So that's what I was saying. Like I had time to think about it.
Yeah. I think what I want to do, like give the impression that things are difficult, right? That things are overwhelming, that like, and very like that there's too much media to intake. I feel like, and I don't think this is being creative. I think that's just the way the world is right now, right? And like trying to find positive responses to it, right? Is the thing I want to display the feeling of deep joy and being able to like toggle on and off your focus.
Okay.
It's like I think I want to show the ideal way to like engage and then turn off. But I don't know if I'll get there. Yeah.
That makes sense. It almost like juxtapositioning the like chaos of the world with the focus of your character.
Yes. Okay. How do you do that?
That's a good question. How do you do that? That is the question.
I mean, I know what it is to like toggle the focus on and off and like have difficulty with that, right? Like choosing mindfulness is a choice. Right? And so like turning the phone off, putting it down, and then turning to a good thing and giving yourself a break and allowing like that, physically like letting it go, knowing that you have to pick it back up again. But like for now, I am deeply engaged in this thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is with a person who can be there with you, right? But if not, it is with a thing. So like I know how to do that, how to write that.
Yeah. I think that...
Can that be what can we just... Can I just
We're
say
done?
that? We're done? I did my writing
Well,
piece.
thanks, guys. I think that, like, one of your strengths as a writer, as a new writer, I know you don't consider yourself a writer, but, like, we all write differently. Like, I'm not a poet. And so, but poets are writers, you know?
I should put on here for one of the episodes
Absolutely
to explore
not.
poetry.
Absolutely not.
It's going on the list, baby.
Vetoed. But like, I'm not going to sit here and say like, well, poetry isn't writing, or like prose poetry isn't writing, or spoken word isn't, you know, like, and I think that the way that you write is within the realm of prose poetry, and I don't think you've like intook. I don't think you've digested a lot of prose poetry. I may have a book on my shelf that I might lend to you, another one, just to like check
She's
out.
Just adding to my library.
Just to check out like what some of it can look like, because they are literal paragraphs that like tell a short story of some sort, you know.
Yeah.
And there are many different ways to write, and I think the way you do is you work through bullet points, and as you're working through it, you're getting to a more concise kind of story. So I think the things that you're saying, you know, like I've seen you do before, where you're like, this is what they're feeling, this is where they're at, this is a physical location, this is what they're doing, and then you build on that. So I think that like the things that you're saying, once you start writing them out, you're going to get to a place.
Okay.
But like,
I appreciate you calming my anxiety and helping me with direction. Thank you.
No problem. I charged $95 an hour. So
that's not that bad. It's the cost of therapy these days.
It's fair. So I say like, I'm going to set a timer for like 5 minutes for us to kind of like work through stuff, because like I have a lot of feeling, but I don't necessarily have a place to put it, to aim it. And I think that you have a lot of thoughts, but again, you don't have it in a set up way. So I'm going to give us 5 minutes to just make a mess on the page.
Okay.
And then we can come back and
I like messes.
Yes. And we can come back and like pick out, share the things that we feel really good about.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, for you watching this, wherever you're watching it, you're about to see a lot of us going as I speed through this. You know that sound that is just somebody breathing real fast? No? Okay, cool. That's what we're gonna...
I just enjoyed watching that. That was an experience, guys. I wish you could have been here in the room for that.
Shut up! 5 minutes, go! Okay.
I'm not done.
Too late.
I'm not done.
It's fine. You don't have to be done.
I need to write this thing down, but
finish a thought.
The thought won't come, but I know that it's there, and I wanted it on the paper before I stop.
Oh, that's too bad.
Okay, I'm done. I'm finished.
All right. Uh-huh.
I'm finished.
Okay.
I don't know why you're not talking.
All right.
You can go.
How do you feel about that 5 minutes? Besides, it wasn't enough.
The instruction that you gave me of like reminding me about the bullet points or whatever, super helpful.
Sweet.
Right? Letting me know that it could just be a mess. I put mess, and then I started putting it down.
Yes.
And like the little bullet points. I feel really good about just like getting the thoughts out.
Yes.
And it helped more thoughts come, but not in a way, because like before I was like overwhelmed with the size of what we had. Mm-hmm. And then I started pulling it in bullet points, and I'm like, now it's just a list.
Yeah.
And I can like have the thoughts, and I can just put it on the list. I don't need to make it a thing.
Yeah.
And I felt really good in that 5 minutes.
Nice. You
Yeah.
always have way more on your page than I do. Bullet points.
Is there more on the page? I feel like your text is just smaller.
No.
You have actual sentences.
I mean, not really even. Okay, so
do we want to read what we have so far?
I feel like let's pull out the things that we feel are the best bits to us personally, because I think that like one of the fun things about like working collaboratively is, even you guys saw it at the very beginning, like one of us saying something and then the other person having questions, because the questions really help to like drill down into the story that we're trying to tell, the story that wants to get out.
Yeah.
I think. So I think let's choose the parts that like we feel the best about, and share those.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine is barely in English because dyslexia and I don't look at the computer while I type.
I think, I don't know if this is like the best bit, but I like the stream of consciousness in this description here that I have. And I think I would like feedback on if it's a good direction, I think.
Okay.
So before I have like a list of like things coming in, almost like look at da 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 da, and then I put tired, not quite physically, but my brain, but not my brain. I can still think, but I'm tired of thinking. Tired in my soul, tired of trying, tired of doing. Sleep would be nice, but it won't make the messes go away. My shoulders feel heavy now. Now I am physically tired too, even though I shouldn't be. And I liked that, like it comes after, in my head, it comes after being like bombarded with the different things. And this is the point where I'm at. And then I have like some bullet points of like thoughts that come after that. And then this is the start where it's like, okay, now I need to switch. Like, this is my realization that I need to switch. I'm feeling these things.
I really do like it because it really captures as an introvert, that feeling of like, I've been out and I've been
talking to people,
interacting with people, masking and being the best version of myself that I can on the outside. And when I get home, sleep is not going to cure my exhaustion. I need time to recuperate. I need time to do things that like actually fill me back up, so that I can go back out and continue to give, in whatever that means. I think the thing that I find really strong about this is that feeling that I can resonate with as an introvert. I think where I would find it really helpful is if you drill down in that place where like tired, not quite tired, like finding that space between like, what is the difference? Like, 'cause sometimes, right, like at least for me, I'll be like, I'm exhausted and I have to decide like, is sleep what I need? Like, where am I tired? Like, and kind of like figuring out how this character is determining that sleep is not what they need, right? Like that part of, I'm tired of trying, tired of doing. Sleep would be nice, but it won't make the messes go away. And to find that kind of centering. And I think that like, however you describe that difference is going to be in the same way of the book that we were talking about. The like, when she's getting her hair done, that tension of it all being pulled back as it's being braided one by one. That is something that like, yeah, I know that feeling. Like digging down into that part right there as you're moving through it, because then you can see, what is this difference? What are these messes that are causing it? You know, it helps to like pull the story forward. Ouch.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I will make a note. I'm hearing that being able to get more in detail about the experience of this kind of tired and juxtaposing it to a physical type of tired will make this a stronger piece.
Yes.
Yes.
I And with the caveat, everybody writes different. Everybody is different in how they like take in their media and how they want to present it. So if you're like, I hear you, but that's not how this is supposed. I feel this is supposed to be written. That is a valid response to be like, I hear your advice and I deny it.
I think that it is something to try to, because like the question that I have is, how do I make it more evident that this is a different kind of tired?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
How do I have these not even sentences, these random words mashed together because I'm trying to express a certain thing.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the feedback. There's probably other ways to express it and to highlight it, but this is a way that I can try.
And I think that like, this feeling. We just talked about how you felt this a couple of days ago, right? How you were like, I was so emotionally exhausted, I couldn't even give to my family when I came home.
Yeah.
And that like you did feel better after sleep, but like you had to sleep several times.
Yes. I had to go to sleep for the night, wake up, still feel unenergized, and then go back and like rest again.
Yeah.
And be alone and be in the dark. I didn't even sleep for a long time. I like just laid in the dark. Yeah. And then I slept and then I got up and then breathed and washed my face and then I could engage with my family.
And I think that that is like something that is very specific, right? Like, because even if that may be what your character needs, to be like, I need all of my electronics turned off. I need to sit alone with myself to remember that my thoughts are separate from the mob of online. To remember that I am my own personal being. Because everyone is, like I said, everyone is different. For me, that would not be like, I would need to read a book. Like, I would need to watch a drama that has no stakes. I would need to listen to very soft K-pop. Like, I would need to there's a lot of things for me that give my soul the rest that it needs to, and sleep doesn't cut it. But it does for some people, and I think it just depends on, like, what experience you're drawing this from.
Yeah.
Drawing on that, right? Like, drawing on the experiences of knowing that, like, sometimes it's not rest. Like, sometimes it's not sleep, it's rest. And those are two different things. Yes.
It's not sleep, it's rest. I'm going to use that with my clients. I'm going to use that line.
$95 an hour. I think it was $98 last time.
Your prices are going down.
Oh, darn it.
Okay. I have notes. I have notes for directions on where to go.
Okay.
I'm going to highlight these so that I know it's notes and not in my... this one. Okay. So your turn.
Hello, my turn.
Yeah. What is your best bit?
It's like bits that I've got to move around a little bit because like I write stuff out of order. So I wrote a line at the beginning that even as I wrote it at the beginning, I was like, this should be at the end of something. And then I kept writing. I was like, oh, it should be here. So I'm going to like kind of,
move it.
Yeah. I'm just going to do my best to like, without moving it around. Okay. Which is going to be a problem later, but whatever. So it's kind of like the building of a feeling for me, at least, in visual form, I suppose. Lying on the bare floor, back pressed to uneven stone, staring up at yellow painted walls and the door that hung 10 feet above the ground. This is what madness felt like. The room was so big it felt like you could get lost in it. But how could you get lost in such an empty space, with nowhere to hide and nothing to pass the time? The door may as well have been locked, but it didn't matter, as the key was tucked into it. An easy way out. All you had to do was get to it. The echoing was the worst part. All over the place.
I see what you mean by like the vibes.
Yes.
Right? It's not like a description of the feeling, but I get the feeling from the description.
Oh, I like that.
Duh, I like it. I want to know what's going on. So she's in a room, and my next question, right, is this a physical room, like actually in the story? Because you know how sometimes in a story, like a person is going through a thing, right? And it's actually a thing. Like the other characters can see, everybody's interacting with the same stuff, and they are like stuck in a magical realm that is a manifestation of whatever, right? Or is this a like an imaginary thing that is happening that is a like a manifestation of their psychological state?
It's a good question. It's definitely a manifestation of my current psychological state. So I'm not sure, but I think that like I think it's probably like this is a real thing that's happening to this character, right? Like this character
She's
is
really,
trapped.
really in a room.
They're really in a room, trapped in
I said she.
Yeah.
You didn't mention a she.
No.
I think maybe it's because you're a she.
Yes. It's okay.
They don't have to be a she.
Yeah, anytime it's called reader's bias. Like you just assume that the writer is the person, especially if it's in I form. Though I don't think I put I in here.
You didn't.
But it's just, yeah.
But it feels like it's from a first person thing. Like I can see, I'm like looking at the door.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. The thing, yeah, it's all over the place. Like I said,
no, I have questions because, like, okay, because you mentioned it was like, because I'm like, I like that you are putting the world into the thing, because it was descriptions of the environment, right? It's uneven stones, right? Which gives me a like, where is there uneven stones, right? Not in like a normal house.
Yeah.
So this person isn't at home,
right?
Unless their home is
stone built.
Right. So if it is, it's not modern day, right? How are they trapped in a dungeon on some adventure? Are they like in a castle somewhere, right? The yellow painted walls, and reminds me of like the yellow painted rooms that were like, oh, you're anxious? Let's put you in this room, lady. And it was bad. It was a bad idea. I want everybody to know, if you even look into color theory, yellow is like speed and whatnot, increases the anxiety. But they were like, let's put him in a pretty room. And it wasn't a like, let's help you with your problems. It's you are crazy. We're going to put you away.
Yeah.
And then you're alone with the thoughts without help of dealing with the thoughts. And when you leave the room, all that stuff is still going to be there. Yeah. And the door that hung 10 feet above the ground. This gives me such anxiety.
Yes.
It gives me such anxiety. My way out of the room, and I'm short, guys. I don't know if you can tell because I'm sitting down on camera. I am a little person, right? 10 feet above the ground, that's 2 of me.
Yeah.
That's 2 of me. If I cloned myself and got on my own shoulders, I could reach up and potentially get out, but then one of me would still be left there. Yeah. This makes my brain work.
Oh, great. I like, and it's very much that, right? Like I was like, what is the vibe where it's just kind of like, I think this is where I feel like, even when we were talking about it, this is what I feel, where I can make a plan and the plan makes sense, but the door is on the ceiling.
Yeah.
The door is unlocked. If I can twist the knob, I still have to figure a way of dragging myself out. You know, and it's just kind of like, no, you can make a plan and it's possible, but sometimes even making that plan,
pick yourself up and go and do it.
It's like so frustrating when you're like, and then it's that like, the reason the walls are yellow is because I do know the story about color theory and like how it just drove people crazy, but it was also like this idea of like, but you can do it. Happy-go-lucky, sunshine, where you're just kind of like, all I can stare at is my way out, with everything around me telling me that you just need to try a little harder, when I'm staring at, like, it doesn't matter how tall I am. Yeah. I'm not Shaquille O'Neal. And even if I was...
He's not 10 feet.
He's not 10 feet. And I don't know if he can jump the extra distance. He probably could, but like... Yeah. But
Shaq could do it.
Still, right? Like, being like, but to get out of this problem, you have to be Shaq.
Yeah.
Rich. In height.
Yeah. Oh, I do not like this story.
Yeah.
But I like reading it. Right?
That's why when you're like, I want to push you to do something positive, like, look, I already know this person is trapped in a room, so let's see if we can make it happen.
Right. Yeah, I think it's hard because, I mean, it does mirror real life situations. There is a solution to my problem,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very simple solution, but it's still out of my reach.
Yeah. Oh, that just made me think of a place to take this.
Oh,
I'm glad the vibe comes through, right? The vibe is like, even as I was like writing it, like at first I had to really pull myself away from like, it's a dark room, darkness is everywhere, and da 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 da, because I was just like, that's not necessarily the feeling, right? Like, it is, but it isn't.
right.
It's really easy to like gravitate towards that though.
Yeah. I think it's amazing that you're able to describe a dark feeling without using darkness.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I think I feel like we have some direction. I'm gonna give us 10 minutes this time.
Ooh.
To dig in a little bit more, and from there we will see if we will give ourselves another 5 minutes to like polish.
Okay.
But 10 minutes for now.
Okay.
Polish doesn't mean perfect.
No, I just realized that I don't think 10 minutes and then 5 minutes is enough.
We'll see.
We'll
see, because we don't need to commit to finishing a thing.
Well, you would say that.
Nerd homework, we can always come back and be like, this is how I finished
You know that when I walk away, I'm never going to come back.
Wow, then that sounds very much like me, so I don't know why.
No.
I don't know why you're doing this.
You are not allowed to do the things that I let myself do. We have special rules. Okay.
Okay, you're going to see us breathing really deeply again. That was 10 minutes.
Okay.
I
don't know what that's supposed to mean to me.
I did not add anything. I just cleaned up what I had so that it felt more.
I also just kind of refined.
Okay.
I didn't extend anything.
Sweet. I'm going to extend after this point.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's what it has. Okay, so I'm interested to see like how you took the part that you liked and like worked it out.
Okay.
So
I added some stuff before.
Okay.
To like add to what's feeding into
absolutely
my part, right? And then I put I want to lay down. Am I tired? I don't quite feel physically tired, but my brain does. But not really? I can still think, but I'm tired of thinking. My eyes don't feel heavy. There isn't a budding yawn pushing its way out of my chest, but there is a deep desire to turn off. The heaviness isn't in my eyes or the muscles in my arms and legs. It's in my heart. I am tired. I'm tired in my soul. Tired of trying. Tired of doing. Sleep would be nice, but it won't make the messes go away. Just the thought of taking a nap makes me feel more tired because of all the work that would be waiting for me when I got up.
It's real. Okay. What do you like about this that you've added to it? Like,
I like that it feels more. I mean, it's a continuation of the inner monologue, which I feel good about. I think. I don't know. But I feel like it does clarify the difference, right? It's like, it's thinking through the process of, like I added the, am I tired?
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm noticing a feeling, I'm noticing something, and then I'm working through and clarifying like, well, physically tired would be this. And it's going to get into like the thing, it's like, what do I need? I don't need sleep. I need rest.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this set, like the things I've added here will add to the rest of the story later when it's like, I don't need sleep and I'm going to figure out what I do need.
Yeah. I really like that too. Like it's the awareness that not a lot of people have, but also the thing that I feel like we all do naturally. Like I 100%, there's some days where I'm working and I'm just like, and I just take that time to like, okay, what do I need? Right? Like to fully transition. Like I've decided I'm done with this task, or I'm clocking out, or I'm doing whatever I need to do. And I just need a moment for my brain to trigger into the next thing, whatever that is. And sometimes that triggering is to be like, okay, what's the next step? What do I have to do now? What is the next work thing I have to do? And sometimes it's like, no, you don't have it in you to do another work thing. We're done now.
Sometimes it's not there.
Yeah. And I really like that the presentation of that, because it is really, really real. It feels very like checking in with your body. The heaviness isn't in my eyes or the muscles in my arms and legs. It's in my heart. I'm tired. And heart tired is such like, I like want to sit with that a little bit, right? Like not make you push on it, but like that's something that I would read and I would stop, because I would be like, because I feel like we've all felt heart tired.
Yeah.
Right. And that probably resonates in each of us differently in why we get to that place. But to even like call out the like, whatever it is that I've been in taking, it has, or whatever situation I am in, it has added weight to my heart, you know, and, you know, like, just like, you know, and being able to see that in the character and the like gravity that gives the situation is excellent.
Okay. Thank you. I feel this like deep need for approval. And I'm like, okay, I didn't think, is it better? Do you like it? Do you like me?
No.
That is a thing that I actively need to fight against.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I do want you to be honest about, like, I do and do not like, or it's not for me or whatever, and like not feel offense to that. But I also, like, I want to write without the need for like validation.
Unfortunately, then you just wouldn't write.
No.
Yeah, like what's the point of writing and putting something out? There's always going to be a part of that, right?
I feel like the point of writing is to get it out.
Yeah, I absolutely. The part of writing is to get it out.
The part of publishing.
When you're putting it out somewhere, right? Like for other people to see.
Yeah.
It's just something that like is going to happen naturally, but like for that to not be your be all right? Because I think when you get to a place where you're like, this isn't for everyone, but the people who it's for, those are the people I want validation for.
Yeah.
You know, we're just kind of like, oh, like talking about Stephen King earlier. I was like, oh, he doesn't need me to like his books.
No, there's enough people.
He does plenty of people, right? Like
he's not gonna see this, right? But then he's not gonna see it and be like, oh no,
yeah,
my life is over.
Exactly,
Jessica
right?
didn't like
exactly, and so it's just kind of like, yeah, for the people who get it and who like this, like, yeah. Please tell me you think it's good. But for the people who are like, it's not really for me. Like, okay, that's perfectly fine. I totally get that. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah. Good. Because I do like this.
Yeah.
And I like it. I liked what I had before. That's why I picked it. But I like that this is the refined version of it.
Yeah.
Like a clarified version of it. Yeah. Okay. I feel good.
Nice. Oh, that's you. So mine is basically saying the same thing, but I just like tried to like hone in a little bit more so that it would feel more, what's the word? Overpoweringly depressing.
More dramatic.
Yes, I wanted it to be heavier. I don't know if I got it there, but I did my best.
I'm excited. I'm going to try not to read your screen, but I want to.
For sure. Also, if tenses change, they do that. I don't fix stuff if it's not the last moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Lying on the bare floor, back pressed to the uneven stone, trying not to stare at the distantly looming yellow painted walls. The room is so wide that one could get lost in it if it weren't so empty. But nothing was in this room. There was nowhere to hide. Nothing to pass the time with. There was a single door. It may have been locked, but that didn't matter as the key was tucked securely into its knob. An easy way out. All you had to do was get to it. The door was on the ceiling. Resting directly above the center of the room, 10 feet above the ground and painted the same electric yellow as the walls, it stared down mockingly. This must be what madness feels like. So it's all the same bits.
It is, but no. Like the refining, the added elements
It
It's the same bits but more.
Yes, and that's what I was like, this is what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
It is that feeling that I'm trying to like grab, right? Like I didn't want to say that the door was there too early. I wanted it to be about everything else, and then a small little there's a door. And it's like, then get up. It's on
Yeah.
the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's painted, and then the extra layer of electric yellow. I was gonna put pastel, but I was like,
That gives a different feel.
it does, but it's like it's still a good feel. Like it's okay, you can do it, rather than you can do it. And both are bad.
Yeah.
But I can imagine electric pea colored walls are the worst.
Why did you put that image in my head? I think one of the things that I really, really like, because we're talking about physical reality being a manifestation of an emotional experience, right? Or, I mean, we weren't talking about that, but that's what came to my head when I was reading your last one, right? Is, there's not, like, you could get lost, which is like, it feels like I am, but I'm not supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
But there's nothing in the room, nowhere to hide, nothing to pass the time with, right? Which is also like nothing to cope. I am alone with this feeling of lost or anxiousness or like all of those things, right? And so instead of making that feeling smaller, it makes it bigger, right? The lack of other things around it make it the focal point of my entire brain.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a really good bit to add. Yeah. I really like the building of the solution. There was a door, a single door, and it may have been locked, but so there's a door, there's a way out. That's good. It may have been locked. Oh,
it's not just a way out, but it's an easy way out.
Right. Oh, it may have been locked, but it doesn't matter. The key is in the doorknob. Excellent. It's set up for you. An easy way out. It's on the ceiling. It's like you set up and then the let down is so far. And it's good. I like it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I don't know if I'm supposed to have notes.
Freedom.
I love that it's like, hey, like both of us were like, hey, here's a potentially happy prompt. Absolutely nothing happened.
No.
Nothing happy.
No.
On either of these pages.
No.
How dare.
We did it so good.
Yeah.
I think that I do want to give us like another 5 minutes to like, because there's some stuff I want to try to get to and see if there's something else you would like to like add to.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to spend my last if all I have is 5 minutes.
We've been going 2 hours, guys.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it for my story.
It doesn't feel like it, but it does for my battery.
Yes. I think that I am going to try to write the happy bit.
Okay.
The toggle off. I might not be able to write the toggle off. I feel like I'm going to need more time for that. But I think I'm going to spend 5 minutes in this is what feels nice.
Yeah. And I'm
going to do something.
But let's give ourselves 5 minutes to just kind of figure out like where we want this to go. Because I think I'm going to go somewhere and figure it out and then do the same kind of like we're going to meet in the middle eventually. So okay. 5 more minutes?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. So when we at the end, do I read all of the things that I have instead of just the bits that I liked and changed?
What do you feel like? What do you want to share?
Yeah, I can read the whole thing.
Okay.
It makes our podcast longer. Our podcast may be longer.
It's long already.
Okay. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sitting at my desk at home, trying without success to focus on the task on my screen. My phone pings. Another notification. Another fire. Would it be another political fire or an actual one? Ugh. I put my phone down. Let me finish this work before I get back to the never-ending crisis that our world is in. If I don't finish my work, I'll only be able to worry about the crisis of me and my family starving. Another ping. Another email from work. Another task to complete. Another thing forgotten and remembered. Another reason to feel the shame of failure. I want to lay down. Am I tired? I don't quite feel physically tired, but my brain does, but not really. I can still think, but I'm tired of thinking. My eyes don't feel heavy. There isn't a budding yawn pushing its way out of my chest, but there is a deep desire to turn off. The heaviness isn't in my eyes or the muscles in my arms and legs, it's in my heart. I am tired. I'm tired in my soul. I'm tired of trying, tired of doing. Sleep would be nice, but it won't make the messes go away. Just the thought of taking a nap makes me feel more tired because of all the work that would be waiting for me when I get up. Another ping from my phone. A news article. I glance at the headline. I should be angry. I should be sad. But I've been all of those things for too long. I'm tired. I'm in a loop, I realize. This is the start of a downward spiral. I need to go up, or at least stop moving down. I check the clock. And then at this point, I have to write a transition. Like I get up and I ask for a hug is essentially what happens, right? And then it goes, his arms wrap around my shoulders and he began to squeeze. I like physical pressure. The pressure bringing me back to earth as I breathed in the smell of him and enjoyed the scent of my conditioner that he wasn't supposed to use. It smelled very nice. I enjoyed being held in his arms and feeling warm, almost too warm. I let this small moment last an eternity. I just paid attention to the presence, the pressure, the warmth, the smell, the sound of his breathing in mine, and the lack of light as I closed my eyes. He let go, and I felt the release of pressure, my body feeling more relaxed, and I realized I had been holding more tension than I thought. I took a sip of my water. I held it in my mouth for a moment before swallowing, feeling the cold in my mouth before it rushed down, spreading through me from my chest to my stomach, all the way through my head. It was a big move from the warmth that I had been in. And then that's it.
I love the way you write. Like, I know that you're always like, oh, it's not real writing, but I think that you do such a good job of penning it down. And when you're like, should I read all of it? And I was like, yeah. And then like you read stuff that you didn't. I was like, look at all of that like context that is given to the one bit that I was like, oh, you could add this or this. I think it was just done really well. Like even without me being like, oh, like describe the difference. Like I feel like it was very evident with what you were saying. Another ping, another thing from work, another task to do. It's all very natural the way that you write. Like it's all very like intentional, and it feels, for the less of a better word, like attacky. Like it feels something that like when I'm like, anytime you write, I'm like, yep, I felt that. Yep, I know what that means. Yeah, that very specific thing that you said is a thing I've never verbalized, but it's a way that I feel, you know, like it's so relatable in a positive way.
Yeah.
When you're being positive,
but a negative way because we don't like feeling the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I really enjoyed reading the whole of it.
Yeah.
All together. And I'm excited to find a connecting bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Off camera.
Because I feel like that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Like in life when you're doing it and writing it, how do I put it down? You recognize that you need to, but how? You know? Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I not thank you for the 5 minutes.
Okay. It ended up being like almost 10.
That's true. Thank you for the patience.
As I was also writing.
I apologize to the editor for the length of this though.
And both of us being like I mean, altogether we wrote 20 minutes, and like in 20 minutes you did that.
Oh. I guess when you say it that way, that's not that bad.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. Okay, read me yours.
Okay. It's very jarring in the middle, because I was like, but we will do our best. Lying on the bare floor, back pressed to the uneven stone, trying not to stare at the distantly looming yellow painted walls. The room is so wide that one could get lost in it if it weren't so empty. But nothing was in the room. There was nowhere to hide, nothing to pass the time with. There was a single door. It may have been locked, but that didn't matter as the key was tucked securely into the knob. An easy way out. All you had to do was get to it. The door was on the ceiling. Resting directly above the center of the room, 10 feet above the ground and painted the same electric yellow as the walls, it stared down mockingly. This must be what madness feels like. The echoing is the worst part. Breathing shouldn't sound so loud in all this space, but at least it was a reminder that life continued. On some days, that was good enough. There was a knock. I had not moved, still prone against the hard stone of the floor. Was it my imagination? There was another knock. My breathing stills. I need to be sure the sound is coming from outside of my mind. Again, louder now. The hollow sound of the wood echoes in the space, and my eyes locked on the door, see the knob jiggle with the impact. Someone is on the other side. The knock comes again, and then a voice. Words. Words. I had not had the pleasure of words in too long to count. I don't think anyone's in there, one voice says. Then we should move on. Panic races through my body, and I jackknife straight. No, I shout, but the word rips from my unused throat as more of a gargle than a word. I try again. I have to be heard. I have to, and I'm done.
Ah! Ah!
We had 5 minutes. We had 5 minutes.
I want to hit you
Why
so bad.
you always hit me when we record?
Better to do it while we record than outside, you know? Oh my God.
We had 5 minutes.
You put the timeline. That was you.
We've been doing this for 2.5 hours.
And, does she get saved?
I don't know. I don't even know if, I think it really depends on my mind state when I finish writing it.
Okay, so there's things, as I was reading it, I was like closing my eyes and I was like imagining it. And then I was like, I'm picturing a gilded door. Like they made this room nice for her.
Yeah.
For them. For this person. Right? They made it what they thought was a cushy room that is a prison. Like, whether they realize it or not. It's a prison.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like a yellow, and there's like gilding on the door. And I like pictured like the key. I was picturing it as a movie as you were talking.
Yeah.
I was like, I could see her like lying on the floor and then like looking at a door, and you imagine like the door being like straight up, like it's like a door, right?
Like
and she's describing it and all this, like a door is generally, right? And then as you say, like it's on the ceiling, I saw it like shift up. And then like I just really liked, I felt like I could see the room expanding as she talked about how big it was, right? And the door jiggle. I liked the details that you added. I am upset that that's where it ended.
We had 5 minutes. You were still typing, and when you were like, okay, I'm done, I was like, well.
No! What's gonna come next?
I don't know.
Finish it right now.
Finish it right now. I don't know. I'm like.
It can be off camera. We can turn the cameras off. You can finish it right now so I can get closure.
The door's already closed. This
is why you get hit. If anybody wonders why, it's because she does things like this.
It's so upsetting.
Yes.
I think that like I'm interested in doing more work on this. I will say I switched to first person as I got to that last bit, and I don't know if I want to stay there. I kind of like the idea of it's like nebulous and we've lost our sense of self in this place, and as we start to drill down and even the spiral, that's going to happen before the happy bit. I want to maybe then bring it to the eye to make it more like, I don't know.
How long how long have they been in there?
I don't know. If you're asking me how long I felt trapped in my life. I don't know.
We're just
long enough that hearing words.
Which is funny because when you are in like the depth of loneliness or whatever, like hearing any voice might be good after 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Like when you're in the prison of your mind, time can expand.
Yeah.
You know? And having someone be able to pull you out of the thing. Like when you go into a spiral, having someone, hey, stop.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could be in a spiral for 2 minutes and it feels like forever because it hasn't been forever, but there's been so much.
Our brains are very tricky creatures.
Yes. Okay. Okay, that's the end of this. Bye. Bye.
Okay, that is pretty much the end of it. I think that like we have a lot of good stuff here that I'm really excited to like continue on. We may not come back to this. What I do want to do for us is as nerd homework, go back through and like clean these up, connect the two halves of the stories that we've written, and maybe in my case add an ending, maybe. And then at the beginning, at the top of our show, when we come back for episode 2, we should go ahead and give these a full read.
Okay.
So that we can have some closure for anyone who wanted to know where these were going.
Yeah.
And then closure for some people sitting on the couch that may have wanted to know where these are going.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm just here, guys.
She's here. She's doing such a good job.
If you say so.
But
I'm gonna start a riot if this person doesn't get out of the room. I'm gonna start a riot.
Sometimes you need to start a riot to get out of your own personal room.
You know? If you didn't feed me really good food when I came over here, I would burn this place down.
I'm hungry, actually. I think it's time for lunch.
We should go get like tacos or something.
Oh, we should get tacos.
Yeah.
Tacos!
You guys didn't need to know that. This is why the recording takes forever. It's because I'm going like this.
All over the place. It's perfectly fine. Well, that is it. Thank you, peoples, persons, and background characters for joining us for our first episode of Spinning Tales.
Yeah.
I hope the things that we tapped into reminded you of the stories that have built you, even though they were all kind of negative. So I hope they didn't.
I hope that, because these stories, let's be honest, weren't happy, right? So it might not bring you joy as you listen to it today, but I hope that it was a cathartic release and that you would know, if you have experienced these things, that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that we're here to write these stories after experiencing them means that like life can continue and good things can happen. The fact that we're going to go eat after this and have a good time means that you can get breaks in the hard times that you're in.
Agreed.
And I hope that if you're in a hard time, you can at least get a break.
Yeah. Oh, I really do hope. Yeah. Thank you for giving us some of your time. If you would like to see anything else that we do, I know I've alluded to it. I have a YouTube channel where I tell stories that are not completed, but they are complete in the story time they're telling. It's called Taming Tales. I'll put a link down there in the down there square if you would like to give it a check out.
That sounds a lot like a no square.
No, it's a down there square.
Okay.
And if you want to know what we're like playing D&D, I also have a blog where I do a novelization of our D&D game. Have I been up to date on it? No.
No, but I really
Reference
enjoy
the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, I really enjoy the novelization though. It's very cool.
That's fun. I
to
will
like
also
read back and remember.
I will also put that down there in the down there square if you are interested. If you are feeling any sort of anxiety or anything that we talked about today is like hitting you, I'm also gonna put links for Psychologist Today and some mental health links because we are pro get that mess figured out. Because
get help if you need it.
Even if you don't think you need it, get help.
Yeah.
It's important for you to live your best life, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But that's it. We are going to wrap these tales all up together and come to present them to you again later.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
That feels disrespectful.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.